Previously on MDA.
This company is a disgrace. We need to reassess where the monies are being spent. We simply contract the legal work out to specialist lawyers. We'd save a huge amount on salaries.
Of course I feel for them. It took them so much to finally have this baby, but I didn't give Liam this condition. His mother did.
But you could have tested for it, and you didn't.
They got a verdict?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was pretty quick. So, well, what is it? Come on, tell me, what is it? What? What?
Dr. McKinnon, welcome back on board.
Thanks. Thank you.
When you first came here, Caitlin, you were looking for help to find greener pastures, right? And now that we're not involved in a relationship together, I thought I'd offer you a position here with me. Interested, or...?
I'm sorry, she's not here at the moment. She works in emergency.
I really have to speak with her.
Subdural or extradural? How much midline shift is there? Hyperventilate them and drop the CO2 to 28. Give them 40 grams of mannitol. Look, I'm 2 minutes away. Get the theatre to prep the right side of the head. What's happening? I'll let you know.
Henderson? Yeah, no. We're not even at the door yet, Mark. I will. No, I will.
Excuse me?
We're inquiring about the accident that happened out the front. Ella Davis is the woman's name.
If you take us
Some
inside,
Let's be with you.
Yeah, God forbid the hospital system should make people feel relaxed and informed. They could all be dead.
Just sit.
Do you think you gave the IVF doctor any clue to your genetic condition that she didn't pick up on?
I didn't know I had one.
Well, there must be symptoms, though. For example, you probably don't eat red meat very often.
Oh, God, no. And when I do, I pay for it.
Exactly. So that's a clue to OTC.
Yeah, but I would have told her that.
You sure?
Well, you know, when they ask you about allergies and reactions and everything, I always mention that. Yeah, I'm sure I would have. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I did.
Good. Excuse me. Rosemary. Shit. When?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, sir. You'll have to see the triage system.
Excuse me. Oi, excuse me.
You shouldn't be here.
My name is Bill Henderson from MDA. I just want some information about the accident that happened out the front.
They're being attended to.
Look, for Christ's sake, I work with these people.
Yeah, OK, let me check. Can you please go and wait in reception?
Yeah.
MDA.
Well, even without assuming the worst, we'll at least need a short-term solution. Don't you agree?
Look, can't we just wait and see how they are first?
No matter what the news, they won't be turning up at work tomorrow. I mean, one critical, two serious, a neurosurgeon required in theatre immediately.
I appreciate your concern, Vince.
Okay.
My concern is for both them and MDA.
Right.
They've both got bruising, lacerations. Jamie's got a couple of fractures. Ella's concussed, and they're still trying to assess the extent of any internal damage.
Okay. What about Tony McKinnon?
Still in theatre, apparently. They took him up before I got here. So.
Do you have any idea what exactly happened? I mean, was it a drunk driver or what?
I heard it was deliberate. Some woman ran them down in the car park. I'm sorry.
Deliberate?
I'd like to see Dr. Davis.
I'm sorry, she's not here at the moment. She works in emergency.
I really have to speak with her.
Alison Cathcart. Oh my God. It's me. I did it.
What are you talking about?
That's who that... She came into the office and she was upset and I said that they were here. Alison Cathcart.
I'm not ruling anything out at the moment, Vince. I'm just saying that we may not have to.
Bill can't do everything.
Well, Caitlin's here. I can take on...
MDA? Happy. What have you found out?
Not a lot. Jamie's got a broken leg and Ella is concussed. It's like a madhouse around here, but we knew that already, so...
Any news?
Jamie's got a broken leg. Ella has concussion. Have you seen them?
No, the Iron Curtain has descended on all information and visitors, but Layla and I figure if we hang around like patients on a monument, someone might take pity on us.
Just keep us posted. I'm coming over when I finish.
Yeah, okay. Can I have one of these, Layla?
Are you sure you want to?
Just the one. Oh, she summoned her faithful lawyer.
I think I might go inside.
Alison Cathcart's in custody. I've just come from the police.
I do not give a shit about her at the moment, Richard.
Well, how are they? Luella all right?
No, she is not.
What happened?
Severe bruising, concussion, possible internal injuries. Jamie's got a broken leg. Tony McKinnon is in theatre. We don't know what is going on. Your client has succeeded on a grand scale, my boy.
Are they letting people in yet?
No, they are not.
Well, when they do...
They know I'm here.
All right. Well, when they do, can you just tell her that I'm thinking of it?
Can we see them now?
Should be okay. Ella's second on the left, Jamie's down at the end. Now, Ella's heavily sedated. She looks bad, but it's all comparatively superficial, okay?
Do you want to see Ella first? I'll check on Jamie.
Yeah, good idea. Ella. Ella, can you hear me? You're gonna be fine. That's what they're saying. They're saying everything's gonna be okay. I'm sorry. I hate hospitals. I just hate them.
Everyone sends their love. I just couldn't believe it.
How's Tony?
We don't know. He's still in theatre.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah.
So don't worry about us at work. We will struggle on somehow. Caitlin's ready to step up to the plate, as you've been telling me for months now. Must be a bit slow, I think. Nancy's been telling me that for years, actually. You're slow when you should be fast, fast when you should be slow. The difference between a gentleman and a nuisance, apparently. I've just been in with Ella and Layla's in with Jamie.
Where is she?
Second on the left, but she is heavily sedated.
Okay, I won't stay long.
Shit of a day. Yeah.
She looked... Well, it's just that you don't often see Ella when she's not busy, that's all.
Is she going to be all right?
I think so.
How are you?
I'm a bit shaken.
Yeah, well, that's understandable.
Anyway, look, it's pretty clear that Ella and Jamie are going to need some time off.
Mm-hmm.
So given that, I couldn't really walk out unhappy until they're back.
But when they are, you will?
Yes.
Welcome aboard.
Did Tony... Well, that's the point. They counted all the instruments, but nobody bothered to count the really big scissors. The poor woman was in continuous pain for about 4 years.
I can't understand why they didn't do an ultrasound.
Exactly. All I can say is lucky she wasn't travelling.
Yes.
Morning, Layla.
Morning.
Morning, Layla.
Amanda, I've printed out a list of rental properties for you.
Oh, great. Anything promising?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell of a price jump from Adelaide.
Oh, well. I did want to move to Melbourne. Oh, I've got to get myself sorted out. I'm descending into chaos.
Caitlin, have you got a minute?
IVF brief?
Very same. A few things I've yet to get my head around before Dr. Bowen arrives.
Well, Ella agrees with the line we're taking, and Amanda helped me put it together.
But we're running this case without a doctor in the house, so...
Not ruling anything out.
You ready?
I'm just saying that we may not have to.
You start off and get the documents.
Well, Caitlin's here.
Why did we hire a lawyer to replace 2 doctors? Look, we were bloody lucky to get anyone at such short notice. Med-neg experience, the lot. We needed a doctor, not a lawyer. Any worthwhile doctor is a practicing clinician. Now, can you leave your practice on 48 hours' notice?
Well,
doctors don't need to attend mediation. Lawyers do, ipso facto. You can get a lot more done with Amanda. It's a prudent choice, I would have thought.
You called.
Happy? Dr. Saunders' report on the hip replacement's just come in. Apparently the nerve damage was only temporary, but now one leg's 15 millimetres shorter than the other one. So I'm just sending a thank you note to stick in the file.
Thank you, Lola. She is developing the efficiency of a water filtration system, that girl. The modern water filtration system is stunningly efficient, Caitlin. That was a very accurate metaphor. Mark has reminded me that we haven't received a signed copy of your new contract, so I know we're busy and there's other things that seem pressing, but it's actually for your sake more than ours.
Okay.
Good.
Sorry. Right. The O'Day matter.
Right.
Now, I know you and Ella were both keen to let this run.
Yes. Well, the facts are in our favour.
And the actual claim is for nervous shock. And she does have nervous shock as a direct result of her child dying at 2 days of age. 2 of our experts and 2 of theirs agree on that.
Yes, but the point is it wasn't caused by our members' negligence. OTC is very rare. All Jane Bowen was given was one vague story about O'Day's grandmother maybe losing a child 50-odd years ago.
So the grandmother story was the only clue that Dr. Bowen was given. And is it the only evidence that Savage has to work with?
Yep.
OK, then why is he going all the way?
Because there's a second argument. He's claiming breach of contract. He's saying whether she could have known about OTC or not, Dr. Bowen signed a contract to say that she would do whatever reasonably could be done to assist in the conception and delivery of a healthy child. Therefore, she had an obligation to use all the technology at her disposal.
Well, everything.
That's right. She should have just blanket tested for everything as a matter of course.
OK, what is our defence?
A, in utero the embryo was healthy. But B, more importantly, a court order in Richard's favour would send us into a world where IVF doctors would be testing every embryo for everything, regardless of known risk factors, leaving them with the power to suggest termination as an option for anything with the slightest genetic defect, purely to protect themselves against precisely this sort of action.
Richard will be asking the court to establish a precedent which will have enormous ethical consequences throughout the world. And no judge will do that. That's up to Parliament.
All Savage will be doing is asking a judge to agree that our doctor signed a contract and then broke it.
Then we'll argue that you can't divorce that somewhat simplistic view from its horrendous consequences. We'll win the case because there's no negligence and there's no breach of contract. The brief, it's self-explanatory.
Oh, my arse it is, Caitlin. I mean, you've had weeks to soak this up. Can you promise me that Giles will have a similar grasp of all the nuances of the case, or at least that he will have by the time that we have a judge? I'm glad you're sitting opposite him. That's all I can say.
Right. Well, if that's it, I better fly. I've got a hearing.
Oh, one thing. Good news for us, bad news for you. I was chatting to Ella last night. She's itching to get back on board, as it were, and Jamie's returning sometime next week, so I imagine it's best that we wrap things up between you and us, say, over the next few days.
OK.
But thanks for your help. It's much appreciated, especially at such incredibly short notice.
No worries. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was something we could do, but...
Right. Better get moving now.
She's been great to work with, Abby. We're very lucky to have her.
I'm sorry, Caitlin. I love her as I do. She will not fit under the salary cap unless I fire somebody.
How's Ella?
Well, she's looking much better. Yeah. So you haven't seen her since the funeral?
No. Just a few calls. Sorry about the way Happy was going on. He's not very sensitive.
You know, just between you and me, even with Ella and Jamie back on board, they need an extra case manager around here. And I have to say, I've loved it.
Me too.
Anyone I can sleep with to keep the gig?
Well, there's always Happy.
Anyone else?
Maybe Vince Phillips?
Keep thinking for me, will you? See you.
Oh, sorry. Bye, Lola. Bye. Happy? A divorced husband asked this GP for his daughter's records.
What did you say?
I asked how old the girl was, and the doctor said 19, so I said, don't hand them over, they're not his, and one of our lawyers will be in touch.
Excellent, Layla. Thank you very much.
And Jason called.
I thought he'd given up talking to me.
No, he said he got the joint you sent him and your ultimatum, and he gave it considerable thought.
Well, don't tell me he's re-enrolled.
No, he's gone bushwalking in Tasmania. But he did say that he would re-enroll as soon as you quit MDA and start your own criminal law practice.
Oh, well, I could throw myself into the jaws of optimism and say at least he's becoming his own man.
And he needs $900 to pay off his credit card.
Tell him to ask his mother.
Ella, didn't think we'd see you back around here for at least a month or two.
Well, you can't get rid of me that easily.
You look good. That looks great.
Well, I'm here for proof of fitness in front of the board.
So how are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. They told me you were in theatre for 8 hours.
Well, he'd already herniated. Anyway, ECMED have signed their part of the indemnity contract, so thanks for talking Brandon around for me.
Oh, wish I could remember what I'd said. Oh, most of the day's a bit of a blur, I guess. But did you get a volunteer?
Yeah. Well, we had. He checked himself out of rehab and his parents have moved. But it'll sort itself out, I don't know. Do you know Dr. Haziz?
No.
Abdullah, this is Dr. Ella Davis.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Likewise. Excuse me. I bet they'll be glad to see you back at MDA.
Yeah.
Why didn't it happen? Wasn't it scheduled for last Thursday? When you were both here last month, you told me you were both ready. We had 14 new matters this week, and when things get cancelled because council has a cold, that's how the system clogs up.
That's right. Well done.
Now, will you both go outside, look at your
Bit of a surprise to see your fists to the free fall.
Well, if Rupert Murdoch can roll up his sleeves and fix a broken printing press, yeah, I think I can attend the occasional directions here.
Overworked and understaffed.
And if we were?
Well, if you were looking for someone to join the team, I might send in a little CV, list of recent achievements, that sort of thing.
Luella's coming back.
Number 10, Celeste and Norman.
Gretel Celeste, present, Your Honour. Excuse me. I'm present and here and, ready.
Amanda Mackay, Your Honour, appearing for Dr. Norman.
Mediation is scheduled for Monday?
Correct, Your Honour. Our reports have been exchanged.
Do you have legal representation, Miss Celeste?
No, Your Honour.
Have you at least sought legal advice?
Well, I went to one lawyer, but he wouldn't take me on.
But you still want to pursue your claim?
Absolutely.
A claim alleging bad surgery robbed you of a psychic ability to see the future.
Well, it's true. Before I could make a living telling fortunes, now I can't.
Right, well, do you know what to expect in a mediation?
Not really, no.
Is there anyone here who could assist Miss Celeste with her case? What about you, Mr. Savage?
Me?
Yes, Mr. Savage, you. Miss Celeste is an unrepresented plaintiff with a very difficult claim.
Your Honour, with the greatest of respect, we are very
I'm not
snowed
asking
under
you
at the
to
moment.
represent her, Mr. Savage. Merely find half an hour, which this court does not have, to give her some advice.
Your Honour, I just don't
Thank you for your generosity, Mr. Savage. It's very kind of you to assist the court in this matter.
Thank you, Your Honour. We meet up around 5-ish. The address is on the card. So, you haven't told them yet?
No.
Well, I think time's running out, wouldn't you agree?
Ella doesn't come back until next week.
And you want to wait till then?
How will it look if I don't?
I think it'll look like you've waited till after the IVF case has started and left them at the worst possible time.
Maybe I should wait until the end of... No, I can't do that on the off chance we lose and then I quit to work for the firm I lost to.
Caitlin, do you want the job? That's all I'm asking. Or did you just say yes because of the money, but you're not actually sure about
No,
going?
I want the job. I explained. It's just a timing thing, that's all.
There is never a good time.
Sometimes there's a right time,
No,
Richard.
no, there's not. There is just the time. The time when you do something.
You're thinking that if I wait till Ella gets back, she'll talk me into staying?
I just want to know what's happening, that's all. I mean, because if it turns out you're not interested, there are other people that are.
No, well, that's it. You don't have a legal obligation, so I just leave it at this stage. I wouldn't do anything.
Happy. If I can just say something. The reason why I haven't given you back a signed copy of my contract is because I've been made an offer by another firm. An offer I've decided to accept.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to work for another firm.
You going to tell us which one?
Thank you.
Kate Owen Pittman.
Ella, what are you doing here?
Hello, strangers. How is everyone?
Hi, Ella. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Nice timing. Caitlin's just quit. Not content with fucking Richard Savage, she's now going to fucking work for Richard Savage. Do the words gratitude or obligation mean anything to you? I'm sorry about this. Pack up. Pack up and go now. We'll forward your entitlements in the mail.
It's not about problems here. It's just a career decision. I just thought, given what you'd been through, I would have felt pretty selfish calling up and saying, can you help me with my career when you're there dealing with...
Well, people have to do what they think is right.
It's a scope of things over there. I'll be doing more than just med-neg. Eventually I'll get involved in the whole gamut of civil lit.
Well, we all need a change sometimes.
Ella, I'm sorry. You taught me so much. You stuck up for me when I came here. It really, really matters to me that you understand. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm just gonna go and pack my stuff before Abby chucks it out.
Everything you read says that if a doctor stuffs up and you can't work anymore, then they'll give you some money.
But he didn't.
But he did. I had a gift. And the second I went in for that operation, I knew that I'd lost it.
Gretel, you had a burst appendix. Now, to save your life, they had to operate. And physically, as an operation, as far as I know, it was absolutely textbook. I can tell you now, at Mediation, MDA will offer you nothing. The mediator will advise you to drop the action before it starts costing you money. You have one reasonable course of action. Withdraw the claim.
I can't.
Can't?
Well, I have to do this.
What? What reason?
Well, I can't tell anymore, can I? I mean, that's the whole bloody point. Doesn't that prove the point?
Am I comprehending this correctly? Caitlin is saying that this could lead to either the destruction of a vast number of embryos at a time when there is heated debate about what level of embryonic development constitutes life, or to the uncontrolled growth of genetic engineering. But then, with barely a pause for breath, I get to a whole new argument about human cloning.
Mm-hmm.
Is this science fiction?
No. By the time you run the DNA of an embryo through umpteen tests for this, that and the other, it's prohibitively expensive. In 2 to 5 years' time, when cloning techniques are perfected, it's far cheaper to clone than test. Grab one egg, take out the single strand of DNA, pop in a double strand of Dad's, put it in the womb, and away you go.
And the point of this argument is?
If this judgment finds for the plaintiff, it will define an embryo, a healthy embryo, as one with no genetic weaknesses. If a mum has a genetic weakness and a dad doesn't, cloning will be much cheaper than testing and dumping embryos.
The baby would be the dad's twin brother. Okay, thanks, Dr. Bowen. I'm glad you're across this.
We'll ring you if there's anything else, but I doubt there will be. We'll just see you on the day.
What do you think our chances are?
Good.
Excellent. We're in good shape.
Right. Will you call me if there's anything?
We will. Thanks, Dr. Bowen.
My head is literally spinning.
Mine did too.
I can think of about 100 questions already.
I could probably answer about 10 of them.
Good, we'll sit down.
Does this mean I'm staying?
Can you? Okay, good. We're on a hiding to nothing now. All these arguments, the entire brief. Savage has it all. I could kill him. Never trusted that girl. Never.
There we go.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Right. Congratulations. There we go. Welcome to Cato and Pittman. Yeah. So the DPP moved the charges against Alison from manslaughter to murder yesterday.
Murder?
Mm-hmm. Well, she's not our client anymore and we don't muck around with murder.
So, can I see my new office?
So, how are things going at the old A&E?
Fine. New doctor just arrived from Egypt.
As a tax-paying member of the public, should I be concerned about this?
No.
Have we passed our exams, have we?
No, but we've got very good qualifications from our own country. He's a haematologist.
Well, systems are different here, though, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we'll just make sure he's very well supervised.
I can take that move back if it upsets you that much.
I get to the place and I think, you know, I'm fine, I can come to terms with it. But then I want someone to blame. I want to blame her. I want to.
Maybe you need more time.
No, I don't. I don't need more time. I don't. I want to come back. I want to work. I'm sorry. I just want to...
Well, first Caitlin dumps us, and now Ella clears the way for a queenside castle. How many shocks can one man take?
Rosemary's organised some keys and security pass, which should be ready by the end of the day, and you should also speak to her about getting some business cards printed up too.
Okay, thank you.
And there's this, the brief on O'Day. We can't discuss it, but I thought you might like to read it.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to be involved in this.
I know. I thought you might like to get up to speed with what's happening around here, that's all.
Hello.
Hi.
Jamison.
There's no need for applause. Money is fine.
How did you get here?
Not on your bike, obviously.
No, Wendy gave me a lift. What's that?
That's Amanda's.
The locum lawyer. She's still here?
Yep.
So, where am I sitting?
For the moment, right there.
So where's Caitlin sitting?
At the feet of Lord Voldemort.
She left to work for Richard at Cato and Pittman.
Great. That's great. Thanks for warning me. That's, So, any other changes I don't know about? Ella's a Christian missionary in Palestine? Mark has a Filipino boyfriend or something?
No, we're sorry, Jamison, but we only found out ourselves this Friday just gone, so...
I'll help you with this.
No, it's fine. I don't.
Let's take this off.
No, really, no, stop fussing, please. Sorry.
Okay.
Can we just get on with it? Is that all right?
Sure, fair enough. So, I'll be on the mobile. Layla.
Where did the stuff about the red meat come from, Richard?
Caroline told me.
What, she just suddenly remembered a conversation that no one's ever mentioned before?
Yes.
Are you kidding? Jane Bowen never mentioned it. It's nowhere in the notes.
She didn't realise the relevance. If she had, she would have twigged immediately. Massive headaches after eating red meat are an indication of raised ammonia levels, which is a classic indicator of OTC.
If it's a classic indicator, you seriously think Jane wouldn't have picked up on
Well,
it?
apparently she didn't. It's not in the notes.
Maybe they never had the conversation.
She claims they did.
This late in the piece, out of the blue, you seriously believe that?
Caitlin, it is a strong piece of evidence that goes straight to the heart of the issue.
It's completely fanciful.
Caitlin, what precisely is your objection here? Of course they're going to question her memory. We'll question Dr. Bowen's, and then the judge will decide who sounds more credible. That's how we play the cards. You reacting like this because it might mean we defeat the brief that you put together at MDA.
No.
Is that it? No?
No.
Good.
I have very hard evidence, I'll have you know.
Like what?
You want evidence of Dr. Norman's negligence?
Yes, we do.
I've got documents at home that would fill a shoebox.
Miss Celeste, if these documents are relevant, they should have been disclosed.
They're called bank statements. Before Dr. Norman got to me, I could earn a living. Now I can't.
It was routine surgery performed with no physical complications. Every doctor who's reviewed the case agrees on that.
And you had to have it anyway. Without it, you would have died. With it, you're alive.
And broke.
But not because of Dr. Norman's negligence. Even if you had somehow known that an appendicectomy would rob you of psychic powers, which in turn means hypothetically conceding that such powers existed, you would have had to have had the operation.
But you don't think they do exist?
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's the point of the whole thing.
In law, Miss Celeste, there are two tests we have to apply. Firstly, was the doctor negligent? Secondly, was the adverse outcome as a result of that negligence? If the adverse outcome would have occurred anyway, then there's no basis for any claim.
Look, I've lost $35,000 this year. It's their doctor's fault. What about the anaesthetic?
No, I've seen the anaesthetist report. There were no abnormalities. Your blood pressure, oxygen levels, everything remained stable throughout.
Look, there are other ways. There are less clinical ways that you can be affected.
Gretel, if you take this to court, do you know what is likely to happen?
12 months ago, I could have told you exactly what was going to happen. And now I'm just drifting down the river like everyone else. If you want proof that I have lost what I had, there you have it. But you don't, though, do you? You don't believe that I've lost anything.
What the hell are we doing here? This woman's a nutcase.
No, she just wants an audience. She wants to be listened to. At the very least, she wants someone to stop thinking that she's a lunatic and hear what she's got to say.
Doesn't have to be both of us. Okay.
So, it's like there's actually no time. Although when I say that, I sound even crazier.
Wait, what you're saying is before your operation, everything existed simultaneously.
Yeah.
The universe, us, all our choices, everything. Like some big CD-ROM game
Yes.
we're all in the middle of playing?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Although, look at you. You think I'm a nutter. You think I'm just some crazy woman trying to grab some money. Look, even if that's a lost cause. It would be nice if someone could understand enough to believe that I have lost something and, you know, maybe just apologise. But it's pretty hard to believe me if it means believing that time isn't really there.
Well, no, we actually know for a fact that time doesn't exist.
Oh, God, now you're patronising me.
No, I'm not. It's something that we imposed, and it's true that when you try to unite quantum mechanics with general relativity, the time variable just disappears, which is how we end up with a universe that is both finite and eternal. If you start with a point, the Big Bang, and you imagine the universe expanding in all directions and then contracting back to a point, what you have is a ball. But the shape is all you have, the thing itself. There is no beginning, no end.
There's no time. That's right. That's exactly what it's like. And so when you hold a ball in your hands, it's like you're holding a little model of eternity. Thank you. Well, at least I know how to explain it now, even if I've lost it.
I'm glad I could be of help.
I'm glad I could too.
Sorry.
I mean, I can't see it very clearly anymore, but that whole way of looking at things, that should help you too, somehow.
Miss Celeste, while we make no admission of liability, we do sincerely apologise on Dr. Norman's behalf for the loss you've suffered. Can we bring this to a close?
Your Honour, we cannot afford to be sidetracked by long journeys down the back roads of unexplored ethical dilemmas. Society does not agree that life should simply be the cards that nature deals us. Like all parents, Caroline O'Day was desperate for a happy, healthy child. This case is about the tools the medical profession has invented to deliver on that universal hope. The contracts they sign, assuring parents they will deliver, and their complete failure to do so.
You do not consider your son was born a healthy child?
He only lived 2 days.
Which is very sad. So, if you had been informed of your child's OTC at an embryonic stage, would you have requested to proceed with the pregnancy?
No.
Even though, with the condition known and medical intervention immediately after birth therefore probable, the child may have survived and lived a comparatively healthy life.
Objection, Your Honour, this is highly speculative.
Or if it tested clear for OTC but showed indications of, say, Parkinson's disease later in life.
Your Honour.
I am merely establishing that rather than expecting a contract that required a baby be born healthy, the plaintiff was really hoping that the contract would deliver much more. In fact, the most perfect child possible. He then went on to make the distinction between, say, a parent of a Down syndrome fetus making their own decision to terminate and a doctor throwing away dozens of embryos off his own back because he knows they won't pass muster.
And that'd be a telling point.
Well, I certainly don't think anyone wants a law that gives doctors that kind of power.
I want to go to this board meeting.
How's Wendy?
Oh, good, yeah, she's fine. No, thank you.
You weren't at the wake?
No, with the crutches and everything, it was awkward.
I'm not going to recall Mrs. O'Day to ask her about the red meat conversation, Richard.
Claudia, if she is convincing on the stand, we're halfway to winning.
And if she's not?
If she's not, she's not. I mean, she might look desperate or dishonest, but, you know, that's the risk we have to take.
Giles will ask her the details of how she remembered this conversation, and I don't know what she's going to say, do you? Doing something that might end up with her looking desperate, well, that may be worth it, but if we end up looking dishonest, it's just plain bad tactics. I mean, why do something so risky on this case, Richard?
If I had carried out every genetic test imaginable, we would have found OTC, that's true.
But that's not common practice.
No, the standard practice is only to test for defects that you know have a probability of being present.
It is designed, for example, to be sure that a child of cystic fibrosis carriers does not have cystic fibrosis.
Precisely.
And to do that, you first have to be told that the carriers of cystic fibrosis are in fact carriers.
Yes. Our testing procedures are not designed to present people who sign up for the program with a pledge to deliver them the most perfect child their combined genes can forge.
But medicine has been improving on and correcting nature for thousands of years, hasn't it, Dr. Bowen?
If there are no known high-risk factors and no signs of abnormalities in utero, why intervene? What do you expect us to do?
What we expect you to do is to carry out the terms of the contract entered into in good faith.
To argue that, with no other information at hand, Dr. Bowen was in any position to suspect that Caroline was a carrier of OTC flies in the face of reason. The plaintiff's only case, therefore, is to say that regardless of the information at hand, the contract bound Dr. Bowen to test the O'Day's embryo for everything she could to ensure its health to the limits of modern technology. As we have shown, the ramifications of interpreting the contract in this fashion are so nightmarish as to be almost impossible to predict. To define that contract in this fashion is, I suggest, seriously flawed.
We've got a couple of ODs and a boy who crashed through a plate glass window.
And one suspected ectopic.
Have you done a pregnancy test?
Urine's positive, and I took her straight up to radiology. We're waiting on the results now.
Okay, good, well done.
Despite the vagueness of the word healthy in this contract and the tragic outcome that resulted from this little boy's condition, I cannot say Dr. Bowen breached her duty of care or contractual obligations when the child displayed no sign of ill health in utero.
No reasonable person could have guessed his mother was an OTC carrier. For all our triumphs, the process of life is still fragile and little understood. Tamper we may, I suggest, only when we know with what we tamper. There will be judgment for the defendant.
Silence. All stand.
Thank you, Claudia.
Giles.
I hear Caitlin's on your team now, Richard. Congratulate her for me. It was an excellent brief. You've got a good one there.
Well, it was always going to be a tough one to win.
It was still winnable.
Was Happy magnanimous in victory?
No.
Why change the habits of a lifetime?
Giles was.
Yeah?
Yep.
What did he say?
Just the usual stuff, you know. Well played. See you next time. He's a good man, Giles.
Dr. Davis, Emma Hicks, the suspected ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah, confirmed?
Yeah, but we can't find her. Apparently she wanted to go for a walk while she waited for the test results.
You let her?
I took her mobile number, but it's not answering.
Triage?
They've got her home number and her home address, but her home number just rings out.
Radiology reckons it could burst in the next...
Shit. Get on to emergency, all right? You keep trying other numbers. Spread out, all right? You'll be in pain. She can't have gone far, all right? Check other rooms. Check the fire escapes. Emma! 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 It's okay. I need help!
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God.